This video is dedicated to the two babies whom I never got to meet face to face, and I got a tattoo in remembrance of them as well as my other 3 children. Hi guys, and welcome to another video. If you are new here, my name is Yuvonda, and I'd like to welcome you to the Happy Hill Homestead. So today's video is a story time, and this is something I have not shared a lot, especially not with even a lot of my family members. People know that I went through this. I just didn't talk about it a lot. And then I came across this very brave and wonderful young mother here on YouTube. Her name is BB Lilybeth. I think I said that right. But anyways, so she shared her story, and I know when I had my own experiences with this, I did not find a lot of people talking about it. So you hear people talk about miscarriages and you know, stuff like that. But we as women should all be here to support one another. And so I have found a lot of support on YouTube. I have made a lot of great friends here on YouTube, mothers. So being a mother is something that is very, very important and near and dear to my heart. So I thought that I would share my story, my ectopic pregnancy story. This happened to me twice, unfortunately. It was quite devastating. It took me down a very dark path of depression and being angry with God, but he delivered me through all of that. And if you're going through something similar, whether it's an ectopic pregnancy, a miscarriage, or you're trying to have a baby and you are struggling with infertility, just know that God will get you through this. And things may not always turn out how we want them to, but God knows best, and his plan just always works out in the end. So to get started, you guys, if you have not seen my channel and don't know anything about me, I am a wife and I am a mother. I do have 3 children, biological children. I have a 21-year-old daughter, Brianna, my 18-year-old son, Brian, and then I have 14-year-old daughter, Brielle. They are the love of my lives. I'm very proud of each and every one of them, and I'm grateful to God for entrusting me to be their mother. So I was married to their father, and then we got a divorce, and that divorce and that marriage was very hard. And so I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this again. I'm never getting married again. I'm just going to be content just raising my kids. And then after they're grown, maybe God will have me meet someone. Well, that didn't work out like that, because, you know, God's plans are not always our plans. So what ended up happening was we got a divorce. I was living in Louisiana. I had no family there. We had moved there for my ex-husband's job, but then he left. And it was just myself and the 3 children, and they were very young and stuff like that. Brielle was 2 years old. So I finished nursing school and I worked for a while, and then I decided to come back to Florida. I'm originally from Florida. And so I moved back to Florida, and I was just busy with church and working and taking care of my kids, and I was okay with that. But you know, you get lonely, so I created an account on this dating website. And you know, you meet some losers or whatever, and you know, that's just, you know, people that are just after one thing. But anyways, so this guy sends me a message. It's a one-liner. I usually never ever respond to people who send you a one-liner. But anyway, so I responded. So we exchanged phone numbers and we talked on the phone. So then we decided to meet up, and that is my husband today, Jamal. I am grateful. I truly believe he is a blessing from God. I just thank God every day for him. He's a hardworking man. He's a Christian man, and we're on this walk together. So anyways, during our conversations, he made it very important to me that he wanted children, and he asked me, did I want any more children? And I said yes. However, I knew that would not be easy because of some choices I made. And so I knew that that would be a struggle, but I would do what I could because I I love kids. I just knew at the time when I was married that I did not want any more children with my ex-husband. I knew our marriage was running its course and it wasn't going to be much longer. We just had a lot of issues. And so I was like, I knew I didn't want any more kids at that moment in my life. But fast forward years later, you know, there's different plans. So in 2014, that's on my shirt too, but 2014, me and my husband got married, Jamal, or Jay. We got married April 19, 2014. We knew right away we wanted to try and grow our family. So we went to see a specialist, a reproductive endocrinologist, and he told me what my options would be. So I had to have surgery because I don't want to confuse anyone. So after Brielle was born, I had my tubes tied. And so I was like, I'm not having any more kids, and, you know, yada, yada, yada. But anyway, so I had my tubes tied. So I had we had traveled to Jacksonville, Florida, to see this reproductive endocrinologist. He was a great guy, and he just laid it out there and told me what my options were. So, okay, we did that, and he told me I would have to have surgery. So we got ready for the surgery. We had the surgery. I could have done IVF that first go round. Like I said, this all happened. We saw the reproductive endocrinologist in 2015. So we got married in 2014. We got married in April. So around like August, no, it's probably like July, we started seeing the reproductive endocrinologist, July of 2015 in Jacksonville, Florida. Okay, so then I had the surgery and everything. We went home, I healed, and then we started trying. Well, I was always first murder anyway, so it didn't take long. So in August, I just had a feeling. I just know my body. So I felt like I was pregnant. So I waited before I would tell Jamal, and I kept testing, and I was even buying like the cheap tests at Walmart. I think they cost like 88 cents at the time. They were like $1 test. They were real cheap. And I even bought the digitals. I bought like all the tests. So he had went fishing with some friends of his, and when he came back, I was laying in the bed, and I put it in a little box. And I'll insert a photo right here. I had video, but I don't know what happened to the video footage. I lost it somehow. But anyways, so he was like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Yes." I was like, and I showed him all the tests, and I've been testing for days, and I would write the date on the test. So I've been testing for days, and we were so ecstatic. Everything was going fine. So I talked to some girls that I work with, and I was like, what's some good doctors here? Because I had only given birth to one child in Florida. My other kids, Brielle and Brian, were born in other states. So I was like, trying to find, it was like, they gave the name of this doctor and stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. So make an appointment. So I called, made an appointment. They're like, you're really early. So we'll make your appointment for like a month or so out. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So I was still working, you know, and stuff like that. And I was just trying to be real careful. So there was a couple of girls at work that I worked with. There were two other young ladies and myself. We were all at the same time trying to have children. They did not have any kids with their husbands. I'm the only one that had kids. However, let me back up a little bit. My husband, I knew it was important for him. My husband does not have any biological children. So it was really important. He wanted to have a kid, and I wanted to give that to him and to his mother. I just really wanted that so badly for them. They do not treat my children, I don't even say mine, our children, any different. Brianna, Brian, and Brielle are 100% Jamal's kids. They are 100% his mother's grandchildren. They are wonderful to the kids, absolutely wonderful to them, love them to pieces. However, I just wanted to give that to him like a biological child. So anyway, so going back, let's see. I told him I was pregnant. We were ecstatic. You know, a couple days go by, and I'm still testing because I'm just so excited, and I just can't believe this because for once I had a spouse that was excited for me to be pregnant, so I could experience that joy with someone instead of like being sad about it, like, oh my God, you're pregnant again, yeah, whatever. So I was really excited that he was excited, and so we probably like a week or so went by, and then all of a sudden I started having weird symptoms, but I thought it was all related to being pregnant. I would get really, really dizzy, really, really lightheaded. I had the nausea going on. I just started feeling really bad. And then I started having like a lot of like cramping. So it was like lower, like real low cramping. And I was like, well, it could be my uterus stretching. It has been quite a few years since I've been pregnant. And by now I was getting toward what they call advanced maternal age, because I was 35 years old trying to have a baby. So, I was like, every pregnancy is different. So I just dealt with it, the cramping. I had no spotting or anything like that. So I was like, I can deal with this. I can absolutely deal with this pain. It's, childbirth is way worse. So, let's see, after, I don't remember if it was like a week or so, a week and a half, I dealt with this pain. Then all of a sudden I did start spotting, and I got so worried. So I went to, Jamal went to work, and I was supposed to go to work, that day or whatever. However, I did not. I'm trying to figure out. I didn't go to work because I was hurting, so I think I called in or something. But anyways, I was home and my kids were there, but my husband was at work. And then all of a sudden, the bleeding got a little bit heavier, but the pain was just like excruciating. So my daughter got scared and she called 911. So 911, the EMS came and they took me to the hospital. So when I got to the hospital, of course, they do an ultrasound, and they was like, they didn't see anything. But they checked my numbers, and my numbers were there. My HCG levels were there, indicating that I was pregnant. So let's see. The doctor came and he was like, you need to follow up with this OB. So they just recommended the OB that was on call or whatever. So the OB that was on call came. Did he come see me? I don't think he came see me. They made me an appointment with him. So I didn't know this guy. It wasn't the OB that I had selected and I was all excited about. It was this other doctor. So then I heard people talk so negative about this doctor, because in town where I'm from, he was known as like the Medicaid doctor or whatever. Well, do not let first impressions steer you wrong about people, what you hear about people. That was the best case example. He turned out to be the most wonderful doctor, and had that been a viable pregnancy, I would have stayed with him, because he turned out to be just that great. His bedside manners and his care for me, and I really did appreciate him. So anyways, I made that appointment. I went to see him, and he said, yes, we don't see anything, but your dates could just be wrong, going by your last period. So he's like, we're going to treat this like a viable pregnancy. You continue to live your life and continue to do what you're doing, and we'll just wait and see. We'll continue to check your levels and see if they continue to change or not. So August 31st was when I first, I think I started testing, and I got the pregnancy test. So then September the 10th is when I first saw him. He ordered labs, and my HCG level was 980. He was like, you're going to come back in a couple of days. So I went again. I had to go back and look all this up. I went again on September 14th, and I was at 1815. So my levels were going up. So he's like, this is great news, so just continue. The spotting was very, very minimal at this point. I do remember that. It wasn't a whole lot. It just was, I was still having the pain. The pain was like really, really bad. So then I came back a few more days. So September 17th, they checked and my level started dropping. I was at 1203. So he said, don't lose hope. He said, if this turns out not to be a viable pregnancy, you can try again. Please do not give up hope. He was just so good to me. And so I asked him, I said, well, we had a trip planned. We had some friends of ours, Icy and Teresa. They were getting married in New Jersey, where my husband's from. And so my husband just pulled up. Sorry if you hear that noise. That's his truck. But anyways, so they were getting married in New Jersey. And so we had already bought plane tickets, and we were going to fly for just the weekend, just to go see how, go see their wedding. Go to their wedding. So we made it to New Jersey, and The plane ride was fine. Got there, I was still having some pain, still having a little spotting, but it wasn't terrible. Well, the night after we got there, I had already told my mother-in-law I was pregnant. She was so excited. I had no idea they were surprising us with a party. She had threw a party for us, and that was going to be the next day. So that night when we stayed at Icy's house. She was moving out to move with her spouse. So anyway, so we went to we stayed at her house. And that night I hurt so bad. I was up all night. I was cramping and all that kind of stuff. So the next morning we got up and we did go to the party at my mother-in-law's house that she was throwing for me, which I was so grateful. And it was so, so sweet. Just congratulating us. You know, she was excited to be a grandmother again. And this will be her first grandchild from Jamal, biological. So we got there. I was in a lot of pain, and Jamal's grandmother at the time, she has since passed away, but she was on dialysis, and so her EMS driver that would take her to and from dialysis was there, you know, for the party and stuff. They were like really good friends. So I was hurting so bad, so she was like, "Girl, I'm taking you to the hospital." So she loads me up on her like stretcher. I'm leaving the party. She loads me up on the stretcher and she starts driving me to the hospital. I don't know anything about New Jersey. I had only been there a few times and stuff like that. So we get to the hospital, and by then I'm like bleeding like a lot. So they get me in. They start trying to do all these tests. I have to go to the bathroom. The pain by then was just beyond bearable. My husband was such a trooper. I was bleeding like crazy. It was so bad. I have never experienced pain in my life that terrible. And I had the COVID and the pain was bad. I thought I was dying. No, that pain there was absolutely excruciating. So when I got the hospital and they did all the tests, and they were like, we're just going to admit you for observation or whatever. But every time they kept checking, my hemoglobin, which is your blood count, kept dropping. So mine had got critical at that point. Hold on one second. I think my husband. Okay, so I'm back. Sorry, I didn't mean to elbow you.
Yes, you did.
Say hello.
Hello, everybody.
So this is for you guys that are new or may have never seen our videos. You clicked on it because of the title. Then this is my husband, Jay, or Jamal. But
excuse me, I'm eating. I just, you know.
Okay, all right. But anyway, so the part of the story where I was at was I was in the hospital. So the young lady dropped us off, the EMS. She dropped me off at the hospital. And I don't remember her name. But anyways, thank you, girl, because you probably saved my life. But anyway, so I'm so grateful that you like made me get on your stretcher at my mother-in-law's house.
It was a trick.
At my mother-in-law's house. It wasn't a trick when she told me to get my butt on the stretcher, because like, yeah, I was in so much pain at Mama's house. I was at the part of the story where Mama had threw us a party. We flew to New Jersey, and we were having the back barbecue in the backyard. And I was having so much pain, and so Grandma's EMS driver from her dialysis took me to the hospital.
You said, get in the truck.
She put me on that stretcher, and we was gone with the sirens and everything on. So we get to this hospital, and we go to the emergency room, and I remember I was in the bathroom, and I was just bleeding like so much. I was in such excruciating pain. I thought I could punch a hole through a wall. I was in so much pain. I was just like, I didn't know what else to do. But what it was my uterus had started contracting, and it was just crazy. So I don't remember a whole lot. I remember they decided to keep me overnight because my hemoglobin was dropping. And then I knew at this moment, like me and my husband, like I said, we hadn't been married very long at this point. When we had started this process, we were married like maybe a year, trying to have a baby. So he took such great care of me. He put me on the bedpan. He cleaned me. He just took such great care of me. And it was gross. And I, as a nurse, have done things like this for people without even blinking an eye. But I never thought that people would do these things. I never expected people to have to do these things for me. I'm always the caregiver. But Jamal is such an excellent caregiver at heart. And so he took great care of me.
Yep.
I don't remember anything after this. I remember waking up after surgery, and she told me that when the doctor came in and talked to me after surgery, she told me that when she opened my stomach, she tried to do it laparoscopically. When she opened my stomach, it was full of blood. So unfortunately, I had let my tube rupture. That's why I was in so much pain. Don't be like me. That is life-threatening. Of course, I did not know. I was following my doctor's guidelines. I am not upset with him at all. I think, like I said, I think he's an excellent doctor. He wasn't sure, so therefore, why is my camera not focusing? Focus camera. There we go. So he wasn't so sure. So he told us to just live my life as if it was a viable pregnancy, and that's what I was doing. Was it the smartest thing to fly to New Jersey? Probably not. We ended up being there. We went for a weekend.
I stayed there 3 weeks.
And we were there for like 2.5 weeks.
No, the
it was like 2.5 weeks.
The doctor said he cannot fly back home even after the surgery.
Yeah. So, but what I was saying was, no, I ain't got to that part yet. So, after I had the surgery, and that's when I woke up and she told me that, of course, she could not save my tube. It had ruptured, so I was down to one fallopian tube. I was quite disappointed. I was sad, but I had accepted it. And for some reason, I was okay. I had come to peace with it, and I knew that I still had one tube left, and so therefore,
and I still was trying to work it.
And therefore, we would still continue to try. You know, our hope was not lost. Okay, so then fast forward another year. So it became August of 2016. So exactly like a little less than a year after all this stuff started happening, because this happened in September of 2015. So then August of 2016. So I would say about maybe it was June or July. Again, we went back to the same reproductive endocrinologist, and he, so this was the second time. So we went back to see him, the reproductive endocrinologist in Jacksonville. Oh. So this time we decided to do in vitro. So with the in vitro, I had to give myself injections, which Jamal did that. And then, don't let him poke you with a needle. No, I'm just teasing. He did a good job. He's too slow. With a needle, you gotta go. But he goes slow, and you feel every bit of that slow. But anyway, so with this second time, we decided to do in vitro. So we went through all the shots. I had to keep going to Jacksonville like every couple of days to have an ultrasound so they can check the lining of my cervix and all this stuff. So we put a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of just our heart and soul into this. A lot of praying. So after all of that, we went for our last ultrasound right before egg retrieval, and he was like, it didn't work, it didn't take. So I didn't produce any they give you the medicine to make you overstimulate or whatever, over ovulate, and to have more eggs and stuff like this. Well, mine didn't take. It didn't take, and by now I'm like 36 years old or whatever. So I was sad. He brought us in his office and he said, what do you think about donor eggs? I just started crying. I was devastated. And Jamal wasn't. He was like, okay, we can just do that. And he's like, you can ask, you can either buy donor eggs or I can ask my sister. So the first person came to mind was my little sister, Jashara. But I did not have the heart to ask her. I was like, because to me, it wouldn't be my biological child. It'd be Jamal and my sisters, even though I would be the one carrying it. Foolish to think that way, but that's how I was thinking at the moment.
And I said yes, because I understand where she was coming from.
So I was like, we drove back home, and I was kind of quiet the whole way back from Jacksonville, because Jacksonville's are about almost 3 hours from where we lived at the time. So anyways, that was that. We had a trip coming up. We were getting ready to go to Jamaica for a wedding. Yep. So it's always when we go to somebody's wedding that this happens. You realize that?
Yep, we went to a wedding. So
we were flying to Jamaica for a wedding and for a vacation, just the two of us. We had an excellent time in Jamaica. I met one of my best friends. I love you, Peter Gay. That's my goddaughter's mother. We met her. We just had a great time in Jamaica. We did some things we never done. We climbed a waterfall. Anyways, we had a great time. So we come back home, and we're home maybe less than a month. And we were laying in bed one night, and I got this really bad pain in my side. And it was my left side, and I knew that's the only side that I still had a fallopian tube on. However, that was the doctor told me I couldn't get pregnant, that in vitro didn't work, none of that stuff. So anyways, we're laying in bed. I got this real bad pain on like my left backside down here, like my flank area. So it felt like I needed to just pass gas. I was like, if I just fart one good time, a girl will be all right. A girl will be all right. That's all I felt like I needed. It was just like air stuck. And I was like, I just need to pass gas. A little flatulence and I'll be straight. So he was like, I'm taking you to the emergency room. I'm like,
no.
I'm not going to the ER as a nurse because I can't fart. Like, who does that? So anyways, he dragged me to the ER. So we get to the ER and they're asking about when your last period. And I was like, oh, I just had my period. It just went off because it came on right when we got back from Jamaica. So I was like, oh, I just had my period such day or whatever. And
here she goes. I could have just stayed home with all this pain. It's taking too long. So
anyways, they get me back in this room. They asked me for the urine sample because they were going to do X-ray or ultrasound or something. And they want to make sure you're not pregnant. So I pee in the cup, hand it to the girl. So I'm in the room and I'm changing into my clothes, like the little hospital gown. And I hear the nurses in the hallway. My son, she pregnant. So I ain't paying no attention because I know they ain't talking about Yvonne, because the doctor already told me my eggs ain't no good, like they dried up or whatever. So she comes in, she's like, congratulations. I was like, congratulations for what?
You're pregnant.
It's just like, you're pregnant. And I'm like,
she ain't pregnant.
Not me. So then she's like, yes, you. And so Jamal was sitting like right to my left. I'll never forget this. And he looked at me and I was like, oh my God. I was like, Jamaica did it. So I was so happy. I just couldn't believe it. I was in shock. Because this time, I thought that, it wasn't going to happen. So anyways, they order an ultrasound. So as they order the ultrasound, I'm watching the technician's face. And they're not saying anything to me. They're just doing their thing. And I'm like, they ain't say nothing. So they come to the we have to wait on it to be read by the radiologist. So when the doctor comes back in, he was like, we weren't able to see anything in your uterus. And I just immediately started crying. I was like, but God won't do this to me again. I just got so much faith in him. He will not do this to us again. He just won't. I was wrong. So they had me see the OB that was on call. And he came in and he was like, we can, it's an ectopic. No, it wasn't that at that time. So he was like, it's an ectopic pregnancy. So he's like, I can give you this shot and you can go home. So the shot is called methotrexate.
Which I think something was wrong with
that. And so you can have this shot up to a couple of times. So usually they stop at 2. They did 3 with Yvonne and 3 didn't work. But anyway, so I had the shot. I went back home. They discharged me. I went home. So then I started having the pain real bad again. And so he took me to a different emergency room across town. So we went to, don't say no names because I don't want people know where I live.
We went to that hospital over there.
Yeah. He's so silly. We went to another hospital and they tried the second shot again. They was like, I was having so much pain. So it's like, we'll admit you and put you in observation. So they put me in observation. They gave me the shot. Didn't work. So that was the second one. So then like the next day they gave me another shot and the pain was getting really, really bad just like before. And I was like, I did not want to lose that last tube because that was our only hope. And I was like, I don't want to lose my tube. So tell me what I must do. I have come to the acceptance that this baby is not viable. And I didn't even know I was pregnant. But tell me what I have to do. So they was like, you take this shot and they'll discharge me. So they discharged me. After they had observed me overnight, they gave me the 3rd shot and they discharged me. So I was hurting so bad. So my husband decided to take me to a different town, to another emergency room, and
over there
it was horrible. The nurse had no manners. I was sitting in a chair, and that's when she kicked the recliner chair, and I was hurting so bad. I could have jumped up and slapped them. out of her.
She almost went hood.
Yeah, I almost did. Because I was in so much pain and they didn't have any beds, so they sat me in a recliner chair. And I had to go for another, like a pelvic exam. They were going to move me to another room. So when I went to get up, I had the feet out in the recliner chair, but instead of her like pushing it, she just took her foot and kicked it. And when she did, I was already hurt, and it made me hurt even worse. I was like, I'm about to choke slam this lady up in here. They're going to be calling the police on me. Okay. So anyways, they decided to admit me, and they sent me upstairs. They told me they were going to watch me overnight, and then they would decide what to do or whatever.
So when she got upstairs,
soon as I got upstairs, yeah, they was like, oh, you wanted surgery.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not what I was told.
Well, we already got the call in.
Yeah. So it was the anesthesiologist. She done come in the room talking to me, and they told me, go ahead and wash up with the HIPAA cleanse. And I'm like, excuse me? That is not what I was told. But I was in so much pain, I didn't care at that point.
They said what happened was the doctor switched.
Yeah. So
they switched, and she looked at the things, and she felt that she needed to have emergency surgery. They will try to save her too, but if they can't, they have to go ahead and take it.
So I woke up after surgery. I was really groggy. It takes me a long time to wake up from anesthesia. Oh, yeah. And it's always been that way. I just have a hard time waking up.
I like when she come out of anesthesia, I can pick with her.
He's so silly. So it took forever for me to wake up. When I wasn't even fully awake, and they were trying to discharge me and send me home right after surgery. And Jamal was like, I'm not taking her all the way back to our town from this town when she ain't even awake fully. And y'all trying to like discharge her. So they decided to admit me, and they let me stay one night. But when I woke up, that's when I found out I had lost my only two. So I was devastated. So after this is when I did go into a deep depression. I was very angry with God because I was like, how do you let this happen again? And I was like, I had prayed so much about this. I mean, every time we had altar call at church, this is what I wrote down. I remember at New Year's Eve one time, they were asking you to write down what you wanted, what you had most asked God for, and to like dance on it. So like praise, like you gonna praise him in advance. So every time we had something like that, I would sow seeds into it because this is what I truly wanted. I was like, God will give me my heart's desire as long as I'm faithful to him. And this is what I wanted more than anything, because I wanted to be able to give my husband a baby, a kid. I wanted that more than anything. That is something I promised him I could do when we first met, and I wasn't able to keep my promise, and I don't like lying to people. So it took me a long time to get over that. It took me a long time. I had to go on medication. I was very, very, very depressed. Depression is real. This situation is real. My heart goes out to any young lady that is going through this. I have been there. I understand how you feel. It is devastating when you feel like your body can't do what it's supposed to do, because women are supposed to have babies, but it doesn't always work out that way. But it took me a long time to realize that it does not take blood to make a family. There is adoption. That was really big in my husband's family. His mom adopted 3 girls, and so it just, and then I'm like, he has always been there. He has been there since Brielle was 4, and she's about to be 15. So he is her dad, and he has not missed a moment. Not a soccer game, not band, not whatever thing they did in school, whatever. And it was like that with the kids. Taught Brianna, first started teaching her how to drive. Yeah, that's on you, because Brianna's driving skills.
She got heavy foot. Yep.
Yeah.
Speed.
But it does not take blood to make a family, and to make you family. And so, that was a part of my life. I am able to move on from it. Sometimes I do get sad when I think about it, but it's not like I'm not like I was. I'm better. Anyways, this video is long enough. That is the story time of my experience with 2 ectopic pregnancies and my husband's input. So I want to end this video and asking him, like, how did that affect him? Because he worries so much about me and my mental health and my physical health and my sanity, because I thought a girl was gonna go crazy. But how did it impact you? Because like nobody ever asked the man how it made them feel.
Well, for a long period of time, I had a problem with anything that had to do with children in the hospital or something happening to them. I guess I was just, and then I couldn't stand to see pregnant women.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that. Anytime somebody like invited us to a baby shower or they posted something about being pregnant online, I forgot about that. But yeah, he did not like that.
I don't care who he was. I was like,
because right after that is when Rebecca got pregnant, and I was excited for her. Rebecca is my best friend. She's my sister. I love her, and I love my beautiful goddaughter Haley. But yeah, it was really, really hard. I was excited for Rebecca, but Jamal, he voiced out his excitement for her because I really believe deep down he really was happy for Rebecca and Brandon. But it just hurt him that he didn't get that. And
it was just a lot. Any person that was pregnant. I mean, I was riding down the street. I'm like, look at this ugly chick. Who got her pregnant? Oh my God. Oh.
That is not nice.
Excuse me, but I was depressed.
But yeah.
And angry.
Yeah.
But I just was like, people on the street homeless people getting pregnant and can't take care of them. I'm trying to have one and take care of it, but I can't. Well, we can't. So
yeah,
I was depressed for a while, but I got over time.
Yeah. Well, anyways, guys, this video is very, very long. If you have made it to the end, you are a trooper, and a girl appreciate you listening to our story, our topic, pregnancy story ×2, because it happened twice. But that's okay. Now we're at the point in our lives where we're enjoying time with one another. We only have one child left at home, and then we'll be empty nesters, and I don't know what we'll do. But we'll have lots. We have Pepper. So.
We got a little Pep, right, Pep? Yep, we got Pep. Up. Say hi to the camera, Pep. Say hi.
There's Pepper. Say hi, Pepper. Pepper says hi. But anyways, so guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, which I don't know, it's kind of depressing, but still go ahead and give it a big old thumbs up. And hey, if you have not subscribed to the Happy Hill Homestead, then please consider subscribing. So normally on this channel, it's happy, like Happy Hill. You know, it's normally happy, not like sad story times, but we do cleaning motivation, cooking motivation, day in the life vlogs, grocery hauls, all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in that content, then please stick around. All you have to do is click that red word subscribe, make it turn gray, and don't forget to click on the post notification bell, and we will catch you guys in our next video.
Also, I will be doing some cooking soon.
Oh yeah.
I just haven't had time thinking of a recipe for you. So just, if you like certain things, just put it in the notes and let us know.
Comments. Leave it in the comments.
And maybe I'll make it for you.
Okay.
Thanks for stopping by the Happy Hill Homestead. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share our channel and help our family grow. We'll see you in the next one.